Chapter 522. Recasting the demonic body, late stage of the Golden Core Realm _2. After Dugushanxian explained the ins and outs of the situation, Lu Yun still had some doubts and tentatively asked, "Then why didn't he completely erase your consciousness?" Dugushanxian pondered for a moment, then slowly said, "He wasn't fully awakened, because my arrival forced him to revive ahead of schedule and he didn't reach a perfect state. After hurriedly gravely injuring me, he sealed my consciousness and controlled my body to guard Dragon Lake City in order to prevent other powerful enemies from coming to disturb it. So he's still in Dragon Lake City." A glint flashed in Lu Yun's eyes. "That's right, he's still in that blood pool." Dugushanxian saw that Lu Yun seemed somewhat moved, so he said, "The two of us definitely won't be a match for him. It's better to go back and report this situation to the army commanders." Lu Yun shook his head. "It takes at least several days to go back and forth, and by then, the other party might have already left Dragon Lake City. We have to get rid of him quickly before he fully recovers, otherwise there will be endless trouble." In fact, based on Dugushanxian's words, he had inferred that the other party's strength shouldn't be much stronger than the Golden Core Realm late stage. Otherwise, even if he was interested in the opponent, he wouldn't dare to take such a risk. "Lu Yun, don't take such risk. That guy's power is just too terrifying." Dugushanxian looked fearfully and warily at the depths of Dragon Lake City, then said, "We should hurry up and leave. If we're discovered by him, we won't be able to escape even if we want to." Seeing Dugushanxian's fearful and wary expression, Lu Yun really wanted to say that the opponent was powerful, but only in comparison to him. "As for me, it's not that big of a deal. Hey race, what well do, I'll stay here and watch, keeping the enemy from escaping. General Dugu, you go back first and report the situation here to the various army commanders." Lu Yun looked at Dugushanxian. Knowing that he couldn't change Lu Yun's mind, Dugushanxian reluctantly agreed. He knew in his heart that it was not very likely for him to persuade Lu Yun to leave with him. If it weren't for his severe injuries and lack of combat strength, he would stay and face danger together with Lu Yun. After all, he owed his life to Lu Yun. However, now that he was in such a state, with his strength at its lowest point, staying would only drag Lu Yun down. The best choice was to leave as soon as possible and seek help. With some unease, Dugushanxian instructed, "I'll go seek help now, but Lu Yun, you have to promise me not to enter rashly." "Don't worry, I won't gamble with my own safety," Lu Yun nodded in response. Half a quarter of an hour later, Lu Yun headed towards the center of Dragon Lake City. Just as Dugushanxian had said, the place was full of bones, emitting a strong demonic power, giving people an extremely uncomfortable feeling. This demonic power is somewhat similar to the power in the Blood Slaughter Secret Realm, but not exactly the same. Lu Yun's eyes were mysterious and majestic, full of faint golden light intertwined with dazzling runes, as if piercing through everything, staring directly at the depths, emitting a strong demonic power. In that direction, Lu Yun's eyes suddenly narrowed, and then his body shuddered slightly. In the depths of the densely packed bones, thick demonic power converged, and a blood-red evil chi enveloped a bright red blood pool. And in the blood pool, there was a naked young man sitting cross-legged, barely visible. Countless sword essence, blood, and demonic power gathered at his dantian, being refined and absorbed by him. Lu Yun quickly moved in that direction, and as he was about to approach, he noticed that the young man's eyes seemed to move slightly, and then the speed of refining the essence blood increased greatly, making the surrounding demonic aura more intense. "Let me see who you really are." Lu Yun's eyes showed a hint of doubt. Immediately, he flashed to the sky above the blood pool and used all his strength to gather on his fist, striking it out. Boom! Powerful force erupted, like earth-shattering, and the layer of blood-fiendish force shield surrounding the blood pool instantly collapsed. The scorching power evaporated the blood pool in an instant, and the powerful force was completely blasted onto the young man. However, in just a fraction of a breath, The young man's eyes opened wide, and his body flickered before disappearing from the blood pool. Although I went through some hardships along the way, I finally managed to condense a decent demonic body. The black-robed young man stood firmly in the void, flexing his limbs before turning his gaze to Lu Yun. Huh? It's you? He was no stranger to Lu Yun. He had once encountered a golden body realm lad just after he had reincarnated through possession and was forced to crush an extremely expensive spatial talisman to escape. Unexpectedly, in just over half a year, the other party had advanced from the peak of the golden body realm to the peak of the rune seed realm, raising their level by a whole realm. As the black-robed youth observed Lu Yun was also observing him. "I'm curious, I feel a sense of familiarity with you, but no matter how much I search my memory, I can't find any memories about you." Having said that, Lu Yun didn't wait for the other party to answer and continued, "In my feeling, we should have met and even fought before." The black-robed youth's pupils flashed with black light and his face transformed into another appearance. The crimson pupils, the handsome face, combined with the rich demonic power in his body, quickly merged with a figure in Lu Yun's mind. "So it's you, the defeated loser." Lu Yun's face turned cold, the killing intent revealed. "I let you escape by a fluke last time, but this time you have no chance." "Ha ha ha, well, you are the first one who dares to speak like this with me." Han Feng laughed loudly, his laughter filled with an extreme chill. He was a magnificent demon venerable, but he was completely defenseless against a mere golden body realm opponent. This was undoubtedly a disgrace to him. Now that he has recast his demonic body, he must regain his lost honor, or he would be unworthy of his title as the demon venerable. As Han Feng's last words fell, the atmosphere became completely quiet. The two stood opposite each other, their hands folded. There was no visible movement, but the surrounding flow of air gradually solidified. In an instant, everything seemed to be frozen. In Han Feng's profound black and white eyes, there was a crimson color, giving a strange and sinister feeling. Within those mysterious and deep eyes, it seemed like everything would sink. In Lu Yun's eyes, a purple thunderbolt appeared. Then, in an instant, a shocking thunderclap exploded, directly bombarding Han Feng in front of him. At the same time, a black light emerged from Han Feng's brow, colliding with the thunderbolt light. In a flash, a fierce fluctuation came from the sky above Dragon Lake City, accompanied by the birth of this dazzling light. Han Feng took a step forward, the aura around him suddenly escalated. His realm rose from nothing to something. Origin Fluid Realm, Golden Body Realm, Early Rune Seed Realm, Perfection of Rune Seed Realm, still not stopping there, Early Golden Core Realm, Mid Golden Core Realm, and then Late Golden Core Realm. Rich demonic power and vast laws surrounded. Han Feng's profound gaze fell on Lu Yun fiercely. It was a condescending gaze with a contemptuous look, like a god looking down on commoners. "Now that I've rebuilt my demonic body, my strength is incomparable to the past. Killing you would be like killing an ant." With that said, Han Feng reached out his hand, a pitch-black palm filled with dense demonic power slapped towards Lu Yun. The powerful air currents crushed in all directions, and the void trembled violently under the attack. This palm's might was probably no less than the full force of a peak Golden Core Realm expert. Just a defeated loser from the past. Lu Yun took a step forward, and the momentum around his body exploded. With all the fluctuations dispersed, he slashed out with his sword. Heaven and earth draw saber slash. Against such a powerful enemy, he held nothing back. The moment he made a move, it was a second-level divine ability. Seeing the sword, Han Feng's original contemptuous gaze suddenly changed. "You've actually advanced your divine ability to the second level." Chapter 523. Pursuing 1,000,000 miles after the appearance of Heaven and Earth Draw Saber Slash, Han Feng knew that he was not the only one whose strength had significantly increased during this period. However, he quickly calmed his mind, and his sturdy demon body propelled an inexhaustible and terrifying demonic force with a palm push. The collision of the two forces caused a violent explosion in the void, inciting a strong fluctuation that violently distorted the light. Ultimately, in more powerful collisions, everything crumbled and collapsed. Despite his unsuccessful strike, Lu Yun didn't stop. He stepped forward, displayed his spatial conception ability, instant horizon, and instantly disappeared from his original position. After the upgrade of his spatial conception to the 8th stage, Lu Yun could execute instant horizon more proficiently, achieving command at will. In the next moment, he reappeared behind Han Feng and struck with a saber slash. Han Feng perceived it early on, turned his demon body filled with demonic qi, and slapped back with palm. Bang bang bang! Lu Yun's blade slightly shuddered, and the force of the recoil caused him to retreat several tens of feet into the void. As for Han Feng, the demonic force enveloping his hand was cut open, blood was flowing and it scattered strong power in the void. It felt heavy as a boulder, and a loud rumbling noise arose when it fell to the ground. However, the wound soon healed under the influence of the demonic force. Nevertheless, the shock on his face intensified. Lu Yun's attack actually broke through his defense. Little did he know that since his rebirth as a demon, his strength was far beyond what a golden core realm cultivator could reach. Even those who specialized in physical training are inferior to his demon body in terms of physical strength. But Lu Yun's earlier slash surprised Han Feng as he discovered his demon body wasn't as invincible as he once thought. The more he battled, the more astonished he became, and his expression became even more serious. He discovered Lu Yun not only had an exceptional saber technique, but his frightening physical strength even surpassed the power of his demon body. Boom! Again, a god-devouring demon-slaying saber slashed down. The alarming saber intent exploded, bringing about an aura of destruction and pouring out overwhelming power. Han Feng could no longer afford to hold back any strength. At the Galabella, a vertical eye appeared suddenly. It emitted a dense red light and clashed with the incoming saber light. In an instant, the red light shattered and Han Feng was flung back in the void. An enormous amount of demonic qi burst out, transforming into a terrifying phantom of a demon venerable. He summoned the demonic qi and killing intent from all over the sky and landed a punch that displayed earth-shaking power. The two forces, which could easily annihilate a golden core realm, cancelled each other out in the void. After the unsuccessful strike, Lu Yun still stepped forward in the air, used the strength of his 30 newly refined imperishable golden bones to launch a more formidable attack. After being suppressed consecutively, Han Feng felt annoyed but had no choice but to put forth every possible effort to defend. His demon body was renowned for its enormous physical strength. However, he couldn't suppress Lu Yun with his physical strength alone and had to mobilize the demonic force within his body and the scary evil qi in the sky above Dragon Lake City to engage Lu Yun in a battle to the death. Boom, 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 boom bang bang. In the sky above the giant city devoid of any life force, those two incredibly potent figures kept colliding. Every collision could easily tear apart mountains and cut off rivers. The buildings in Dragon Lake City and the surrounding rivers and mountains were all destroyed by their powerful residual waves, kicking up dust everywhere. The brutal and destructive forces enveloped an area with a radius of several thousand li. Even from a great distance, you could still feel the ferocity of their battle. Dugu Shanxian felt the strong fluctuations from behind and turned to take a serious look. So he didn't heed my advice and provoked that fearsome guy. However, the powerful fluctuations triggered suggest that his strength is much more formidable than I had imagined. Dugu Shanxian had never underestimated Lu Yun's strength from the get-go. He even thought that Lu Yun was slightly better than himself, and he could compare with the late-stage Golden Core realm. Even so, he never held high expectations for Lu Yun. However, from the giant war fluctuation and the formidable aura coming from the direction of Dragon Lake City, it seems that Lu Yun is very strong, strong enough to make one's heart tremble. While Lu Yun is very strong, it will be difficult, if not impossible, for him to defeat the opponent. I need to hurry up. At this thought, Dugu Shanxian immediately sped up, turning into a ray of very fast light that streaked across the sky. Boom bang bang! The dreadfully stirring turbulence. The center of their skirmish has been entirely obliterated, making phrases like moving mountains and overturning seas, or heaven and earth turning upside down, as fitting descriptions. The more Lu Yun battled, the more vigorous he became, controlling his newly refined imperishable golden bones to an even more terrifying extent. Though he suffered quite a bit of damage, the powerful vitality emanating from the imperishable golden bones quickly helped him recover. As for Han Feng, he now looked rather miserable. Most of the demonic armor covering his body had shattered into pieces. And even though his demon body possessed a powerful self-healing ability, it failed to recover from some injuries in time. Moreover, each of Lu Yun's attacks dealt him massive damage, increasing the severity of his injuries. From his perspective, while Lu Yun's saber technique and power were impressive, they couldn't pose a significant threat due to the formidable self-healing and recovery abilities of his demon body. However, there was something peculiar about Lu Yun's saber, which was barley of lower-grade treasure level. But, when he executed his saber technique and divine ability, it exhibited a hint of a destructive power. This destructive power was the reason his demon body couldn't withstand. Chapter 524. Pursuing a million miles _2 After another intense battle, Han Feng gradually regained his consciousness. He realized that Lu Yun's growth was incredibly fast, so fast that even if he rebuilt his demon body, he still could not erase the disgrace of the past. Continuing to fight would only result in mutual damage. Moreover, it would only attract more powerful people to the scene, putting him in an even more disadvantageous situation. Just as he was about to retreat, Lu Yun had already combined the Rune Seed, the indestructible golden bone martial Dao Will, and the demon-slaying god-killing saber, transforming them into a powerful strike. The sudden burst of energy caused Han Feng's flesh to rupture, and he was instantly cut off one of his arms and flung through the air. Right after that, Lu Yun reinforced the netherworld gate with the 7-color stone and pressed it down fiercely from the void. The terrifying suppression force and the destructive power caused the heaven and earth to tremble slightly. Not good! Han Feng's face changed as blood appeared in his eyes, and the vertical eye at his forehead released a red light that struck the descending netherworld gate. Then, his figure turned into a black streak of light and quickly flew away into the distance. On the other side, the netherworld gate transformed into a colossal portal that descended and crushed everything beneath it with its immense force. Seeing the empty void and the quickly disappearing Han Feng, Lu Yun did not immediately pursue him. Although he appeared to be very powerful in the battle with Han Feng, his own consumption was also huge. He couldn't use his second-level divine ability too many times with his current understanding of the rules. Additionally, using his martial arts had caused him to suffer severe energy depletion. The vital energy within the indestructible golden bones had been depleted too much, and the recovery speed was much slower compared to the beginning. What's his origin? His strength has grown so fast that it's hardly slower than mine. If it weren't for the support of my interface, I'm afraid I'd be grounded by the pressure. He is really too mysterious. If possible, it would be best to keep him here. Lu Yun's eyes were deep, and then he used the instant horizon divine ability to catch up. In a mountain range, Han Feng's severed arm had already been restored, and all visible injuries had healed on the surface. However, this was just on the surface, and his actual exhaustion was enormous. His demon body had just been recast, and having experienced heavy damage and used a huge amount of life force to restore his severed arm, his condition had worsened. not to mention his combat strength, which had dropped to less than 70%. Damn it, he caught up so quickly. Sensing the violent fluctuations coming from behind, Han Feng didn't dare to delay any longer, immediately changing directions and fleeing once again. Upon reaching a vast lake, strange creatures leaped out of the water. Han Feng opened his mouth wide, swallowing numerous fish and absorbing their life force, improving his moribund state. He looked up at the sky behind him, seeing the indifferent Lu Yun slash down with a saber from midair. Rumble! The saber's light tore through the sky, cutting Han Feng's afterimage in half. The vast lake water surged wildly in both directions, and a huge chasm filled with terrifying saber chi appeared in the middle of the lake. Does he really think he can exhaust me to death? If that's the case, he's underestimating me. After avoiding Lu Yun's sudden strike, Han Feng's cold voice rang out as he transformed into a black streak of light and quickly disappeared in place. However, Lu Yun, who followed closely behind him like a persistent ghost, caught up with him no matter where he went, no matter how fast he moved. This man has such incredible fortune, constantly upgrading 2 divine abilities to the 2nd level, and even mastering an instant movement divine ability. Han Feng's face looked terrible, and by now, he had to admit that Lu Yun was a tough opponent. Moreover, the ability to use an instant movement divine skill without any limitations was unheard of. Even for him who had cultivated for hundreds of years, he had never seen it before. Without overthinking it, he stood in the void and activated his divine ability before Lu Yun's attack reached him. Immediately after, terrifying runes spread across hundreds of miles within the range of the mountains, causing all the birds and beasts in the area to explode. Their blood and vital energy were attracted towards him and converged onto his body. As the fresh blood and vitality flowed into him, the injuries on his demon body were restored once again. This scene was seen by Lu Yun down to the tiniest detail. All he could do was to strike with his saber. An earth-shattering saber strike fell. As expected, it was once again dodged by the opponent. Knowing that his pursuit was fruitless, Lu Yun still showed no signs of giving up. With a single step, he had disappeared again in place. This time, he didn't give the other party a chance to use his divine ability to devour the life force of living beings, unleashing the heaven and earth draw saber slash as soon as he appeared. Damn it! For the first time, Han Feng cursed under his breath. He had never felt so suffocated before. In his mind, he thought that after reshaping his demonic body, the living beings in this world would be at his mercy for him to plunder. But he had encountered such a freak like Lu Yun, who not only could not be defeated but also could not be escaped from. He always stuck to him like a dogskin plaster and wouldn't let go. Moreover, from time to time, he would use his earth-shaking saber technique to interrupt his divine ability, which was truly infuriating. He desperately wished he could stop and use a self-mutilating method to fight him to the death. However, the situation was stronger than the person. He faintly sensed that, apart from Lu Yun behind him, there was an even more powerful breath approaching this place. That breath, even compared to his peak period, was not much weaker. At least it was an existence that had comprehended 5 or more rules. The goal of that powerhouse should also be me. Han Feng took a deep breath. Then, his demonic body trembled, and his demonic power boiled. Behind his arms, 2 black flesh tendrils, emitting powerful demonic energy, began to extend. These 2 demon-energized flesh tendrils rapidly extended, forming a pair of black wings. After growing these demon wings, his breath weakened, and his expression became even darker. Fortunately, I absorbed some of the life force of living beings earlier, otherwise, I wouldn't be able to use these dark demon wings. Feeling slightly relieved, he shook his wings, and the black light he transformed into suddenly increased in speed by more than 5 times, rapidly flying away from the Scarlet Moon demon domain. Lu Yun, who was behind him, was surprised by the sudden increase in his opponent's speed, but he soon returned to normal. It was only natural for someone who could revive himself with just a heart to have other life-saving means. It won't be long before entering the territory of the 9 nether demon sect. Should I continue chasing? Lu Yun hesitated for a moment, then seemed to have discovered something and glanced back. This breath is so bold and upright, could it be Gongsun Zhonghong? But immediately Lu Yun shook his head. He had only caught a glimpse of Gongsun Zhonghong from afar, knowing that his strength was terrifying, but it could not make him feel palpitations from tens of thousands of miles away. Is this powerhouse coming for me or for the demon head in front? As Lu Yun hesitated, he felt a slight tremble in the identity token on his waist. Lu Yun, Dugu Shanxian has reported the matter to the first vice-commander, and he immediately set out after hearing about the situation. You must stop that demon head. The one who passed the message to Lu Yun was none other than Wei Tianluan. The first vice-commander, Dongfang Yu? Lu Yun understood immediately who was responsible for the powerful breath coming towards him. With that, he no longer hesitated, and after using Instant Horizon several times in a row, he caught up with Han Feng just as they entered the 9 nether demon territory. Under the shining void, Han Feng's black demonic wings trembled behind him. His eyes flickered with a crimson light, and he looked coldly at Lu Yun, who appeared in front of him, saying coldly, "You can't do anything to me, why are you so persistent? I don't like leaving hidden dangers." As Lu Yun's cold voice fell, what followed was a terrifying slash that tore through the space's rift. Seeing such a smooth and effortless earth-shattering slash, Han Feng's shock deepened. He could feel that, in just a few days, Lu Yun's strength had increased again. "I told you, you can't do anything to me," he coldly shouted. The black demonic wings shook, countless runes spread out, and laws intertwined, turning into 9 black rays of light. Then, they saw the 9 black rays of light overlap and form a black arc-shaped blade, colliding heavily with the earth-shattering saber-chi. In an instant, the sky broke and the earth cracked, the void trembled, and the residual waves swept hundreds of miles around. By the order of the Morijin Demon Suppression Army's Demon Extermination General, kill without mercy. At this moment, a cold voice suddenly exploded in the void. Chapter 525. Vice Head of 9 Nether Demon Sect 9 Nether Demon Territory. Lu Yun stood silently, runes surging all over his body. One could see rune after rune appearing, emitting vast laws as they intertwined in the air. At this moment, his entire body was radiating a golden light. It seemed as if he had transformed into an immortal sun, emitting intense heat and golden light. It was the law in turbulence, operating to its fullest extent and releasing its maximum power. Boom! Suddenly, flames illuminated the horizon, sweeping across the sky and scorched the void into brilliant brightness. The dim light emitted by the stars paled in comparison. Crimson Flame Demon Fist. The voice from earlier sounded again. In an instant, a figure appeared in the void, shrouded in endless black flames and exuding a powerful aura. The next moment, he threw a punch at Lu Yun, like a volcano descending. It could annihilate half of the void. The flame's breath was extremely violent, and the fist wind was even more overbearing. The spreading momentum alone was enough to send chills down one's spine. Lu Yun frowned slightly, extending a big hand. The divine power within his imperishable golden bones and the runes on his superior rune seed burst simultaneously. A punch transformed into a golden heavenly lion that quickly enlarged, its body flashing with intense brightness runes, suppressing all enemies in the world. Boom! A vast, ocean-like ripple exploded, making the entire sky shake. The air currents in the void continuously trembled, emitting cracking noises. "Leave the 9 Nether Demon territory quickly, or ill make sure you die here," said the man enveloped in flames, releasing a powerful ripple that wreaked havoc all around. Even though it was just a flame figure, the surging blood and overwhelming power made it resemble a true flame giant, causing incredible pressure on others. Just when Lu Yun was about to assassinate the enemy, he was ambushed and threatened. His face immediately darkened. "I advise you not to meddle in other people's business, or you will be the one who dies," said Lu Yun indifferently, exuding an aura of silence and murder. From their previous exchange, Lu Yun didn't find himself at a disadvantage and wasn't afraid of his opponent. The man in the flames appeared very confident, staring at Lu Yun, and said lightly, "Do you really think I can't kill you? If I hadn't restrained my strength just now, you would have been a corpse." As he spoke, the heavens and earth trembled. The surrounding void revealed a faint cave heaven with countless flames rising and emitting a breathtaking aura. "Leave the 9 Nether Demon territory immediately, or I'll make sure you die here," he repeated. "A heavenly human expert?" Lu Yun's pupils shrank, not expecting the man to be at the heavenly human realm. However, the man did not want to hurt Lu Yun, proving his hesitation. There was only one reason that could make a heavenly human expert hesitate. It must be Dongfang Yu, who had arrived and was hiding in the surrounding void. Thinking of this, Lu Yun's lips curled slightly. He settled his shock and said indifferently, "No one can stop my demon suppression army from capturing who we want, even if you are at the heavenly human realm." The man in the flames trembled, and within his cave heaven, the flames flickered as if ready to erupt at any moment. However, it soon subsided. He looked towards the void above Lu Yun and said, "Dongfang Yu, since you have arrived, why not reveal yourself?" Suddenly, a golden light shot out from the void. The sound of metal clanking echoed as runes transformed into order chains, shaking the void. Seeing the sudden change in the situation, Han Feng's heart felt uneasy. He dared not to stay any longer. With a flap of his wings, he turned into a rainbow light and continued fleeing. The golden rune order chain violently shook and then extended rapidly, quickly sealing off the fleeing Han Feng. No one expected Dongfang Yu to take action against Han Feng without revealing himself. "Dongfang Yu, you've gone too far!" exclaimed the flaming figure, who looked like a monarch staring over everything. As he raised his hand, a divine ability manifested, like the eruption of magma from hell, creating a terrifying power that shook the world. With a violent collision, a storm spread, causing shock and terror. Lu Yun, even after releasing the power of his imperishable golden bones, struggled to maintain himself but was still blown away by the powerful pressure. This showdown came unexpectedly, and the battle was intense. Flames danced and twisted the void, but the golden rune order chain extending from the void was terrifying and indestructible. Ignoring the flame figure's divine ability, 2 chains directly wrapped around Han Feng's body. Boom! With just one strike, Han Feng felt his recently rebuilt demonic body on the verge of collapsing. He knew that even the flame figure alone could not save him. With a sigh, he reached out and released a long, white river that shimmered with a crystal luster hanging across the sky. It blocked another rune order chain, emitting a powerful ripple. A booming sound erupted as the order chains collided with the white river, creating cracking noises. Clearly, the formidable order chains couldn't break through the river's defense. The white, crystal luster disappeared, revealing its true form, a foot-long silk ribbon. Lu Yun's gaze fell upon the ribbon, revealing a burning desire in his eyes. The silk ribbon's ability to block an attack from Dongfang Yu, a heavenly human realm expert, proved its extraordinary nature. It was at least a treasure artifact, or perhaps even of a higher grade. Chapter 526. Vice-head of 9 Nether Demon Sect, Tu Chi Chi Chi. In the chaotic void of the fierce battle, 3 more rune order chains shot through the fiery blockade and aimed straight at the disoriented Han Feng. After several collisions, the white silk ribbon was finally sent flying, and Han Feng spewed out more demon blood. "Dongfang Yu, do you have to be so overbearing?" The flame man's voice was cold, and his murderous intent swelled in his heart. In response, a faint voice replied, No one can stop the demon suppression army from capturing our target. This is the territory of our 9 nether demon sect. Although the Morrigan demon suppression army is powerful, your reach doesn't extend here. A cold, eerie voice echoed as a bloody light shot out from the void, emitting shocking fluctuations that severed the indestructible rune chains and allowed Han Feng to escape. The blood light flickered and the void trembled. A middle-aged man dressed in a blood robe appeared, standing in the void, his gaze coldly fixed on Dongfang. Dongfang huffed coldly, but didn't take any more action at this moment. Instead, he showed himself in the void, revealing a domineering man exuding an intense, murderous aura, his long black hair dancing in the windless air and deep eyes reflecting a captivating light. Dongfang, I urge you to retreat now, or else this will be seen as a declaration of war between the demon suppression army and the 9 nether demon sect. The man in the blood robe descended beside the flame man, emanating a powerful aura as he coldly stared at Dongfang, subtly shielding Han Feng behind him to prevent a sudden sneak attack. There are 2 celestial human masters here, and more might come. What will Dongfang do then? Although Lu Yun was reluctant to let Han Feng go, it seemed infeasible to forcibly capture him with 2 celestial human masters present, especially on 9 nether demon sect territory. The demon suppression army isn't afraid of a fight. With runes jumping and rules surging, Dongfang spoke indifferently. Then, a flash in his eyes sent a golden light shooting out, emitting an intense roar as it went. The man in the blood robe's expression changed, and his blood robe waved, producing countless blood lights. As they clashed with the golden light, they rapidly disintegrated into dust. It is said that the 9 nether demon sect's deputy sect master is unmatched in strength, placing among the top 5 in the 100 sect. Today, let me see if your strength is as formidable as the rumors say. Boom! Everyone present was shocked, having not expected Dongfang to be so overbearing and initiate an aggressive attack, causing the short-lived tranquility of the void to shatter once more. Dongfang appeared like a domineering and unparalleled general, decisive in his killing. With a single sweep of his hand, 2 divine abilities shot out in tandem, like 2 beams of light traversing the Rule River, creating a storm that engulfed both the flame man and the middle-aged man in the blood robe. Observing this scene, the flame man had a sinister expression on his face, and spoke to the blood-robed middle-aged man beside him. Deputy Sect Master, Dongfang is going too far. Today we must join forces to kill him, so that the demon suppression army and the 100 sects know that our 9 nether demon sect is not so easily provoked. Dongfang has comprehended at least 5 rules. Even if the 2 of us join forces, we could barely defeat him, let alone kill him. The man in the blood robe shook his head slightly. Moreover, the Morrigan demon suppression army has finally halted their conquest. We can't provoke them again. I'll hold him off while you take this person and leave first. Without waiting for the flame man's response, the middle-aged man in the blood robe had already stepped forward, brandishing a long spear with a resounding shout. Blood light bloomed, resembling a crimson river, surging and shaking the sky with its intense, evil chi. Gazing at the sky-filled evil chi from the long spear, Lu Yun's soul trembled. He could sense an incredibly strong threat from the waves emitted from the spear. Although he didn't know the level of this spear, its oppressive aura suggested that it had to be at least a spirit-level weapon. The spear tore through space, spreading the storm of blood light in the void and setting off a fierce collision, exchanging blows with Dongfang more than a dozen times in an instant. During this time, the flame man's murderous gaze swept over Lu Yun, making him feel as if his hair stood on end. A thought even crossed his mind: could this guy be planning to attack me? However, the flame man eventually withdrew his gaze, picked up the heavily injured Han Feng, and the rising flames around them turned the space around them completely void. When the flames extinguished entirely, the 2 had already vanished from the spot. In the meantime, the battle between Dongfang Yu and the middle-aged man in the blood robe continued in the void, with each of their clashes causing violent tremors. Interwoven rules and pervasive runes emitted dazzling light, covering an area of hundreds of miles. As their fight went on, rule rivers appeared within the void, like clearly demarcated divine rivers colliding and causing terrifying spatial ripples. Faced with such an intense collision, Lu Yun's figure continually retreated. He was afraid that the fluctuations caused by the battle between the two would accidentally hurt him. Those endless rule rivers made even the void slightly unbearable, and Lu Yun didn't believe his body, which had only refined more than 30 imperishable golden bones, could withstand it. It wasn't until he flew thousands of miles away that Lu Yun felt safe. At the same time, at the edge of the sky, several powerful celestial humans showed grave expressions. I didn't expect that even Ji Ming reached the 6th level of celestial human realm. The rise of 9 Nether Demon sect is unstoppable. Ji Ming, also known as the Man in the Blood Robe, was the deputy sect master of the 9 Nether Demon sect. According to their understanding, 100 years ago, he had just broken through to celestial human realm. In such a short time, he had successively comprehended 5 rules and reached the 6th level of celestial human realm. With such power, among the 100 sects, no one could suppress him except the sect master of the 9 Nether Demon sect, Heavenly Mystery Sword sect, and Green Cloud sect. We need to reconsider the threat of the 9 Nether Demon sect. One of the celestial humans quickly made a judgment. Lu Yun sat cross-legged in the void, refining the imperishable golden bones in his body with the help of a huge number of spirit crystals, and occasionally glanced at the void in the distance. The collision of rule rivers caused large-scale ripples in the void from time to time. It lasted for several hours before it ended. Dongfang Yu, if you don't leave the 9 Nether Demon sect's territory within an hour, the sect master will personally take action. A slightly threatening voice fell from the void, and then Ji Ming's body flashed with blood, disappearing into the void. Dongfang Yu's eyes had divine light bursting, and his fighting spirit was overwhelming, looking somewhat defeated. However, he ultimately didn't chase after him, and simply let him leave. Ji Ming was right. This was the 9 Nether Demon territory, the territory of the 9 Nether Demon sect. It was not yet time for a war with the 9 Nether Demon sect. He had rashly entered their territory and fought the deputy sect master openly. Given the situation, the 9 Nether Demon sect master had shown extreme restraint by not appearing. Of course, the key point was that he was not confident in defeating the 9 Nether Demon sect master. With a flash, Dongfang Yu disappeared in place and appeared beside Lu Yun thousands of miles away. Lu Yun, staying in the 9 Nether Demon territory may provoke them to kill you. Come with me. Upon hearing this, Lu Yun nodded slightly. Dongfang Yu was right. If he continued to stay in the 9 Nether Demon territory, he would inevitably be attacked and killed by the 9 Nether Demon sect, and the attackers would at least be celestial human experts. Moreover, if Dongfang Yu hadn't appeared in time, he would have been slain by the Man of Flames. Although he had been suppressing Han Feng and showed impressive strength, it was nothing in front of celestial humans. Let's go. Dongfang Yu, along with Lu Yun, turned into a streak of light and quickly disappeared into the sky. The speed of celestial humans was terrifying, not a bit slower than Lu Yun's instant horizon. In just half a day, Dongfang Yu brought Lu Yun back to the Scarlet Moon Demon domain. Sky Sea City was not far from the Red Moon Demon sect and was the largest city in the Scarlet Moon Demon domain. The headquarters of the Demon Suppression Army was now stationed here. In the near future, this place would be the location of a state city. After arriving at Sky Sea City, Lu Yun headed straight for the Merit Exchange Center of the Demon Suppression Army. Chapter 527. Massive Exchange. Returning to Morijin, the training in the nearby seas had come to an end, and Lu Yun was ready to return to Morijin. With hundreds of thousands of demon extermination points left on his body, he planned to exchange them all. For upgrading cultivation techniques and divine abilities, energy points were needed, and energy points came from pills. The refinement of imperishable golden bones required a large amount of spiritual power. Spirit crystals contained abundant spiritual power. As long as there were enough spirit crystals, Lu Yun was confident that he could refine all the imperishable golden bones within half a year and transform his body into a great sun undying golden body. It didn't take long for Lu Yun to arrive at the entrance of the Internal Affairs Hall. Although it was only a temporary base for the Demon Suppression Army, the scale of the Internal Affairs Hall was still quite large. The Merit Exchange Center, on the other hand, was housed in a separate palace, staffed by numerous internal personnel and stewards. At this time in the palace, there were also many demon extermination guards and demon extermination generals exchanging items. After nearly a year of warfare, army officers and soldiers of the Demon Suppression Army had accumulated a large amount of demon extermination points, which would take a long time to consume. Moreover, there were still many hidden dangers in the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain, Profound Darkness Domain, and White Lotus Domain. They needed the Demon Suppression Army to suppress them, so on the first floor of the palace, there were many tasks hanging for the Demon Extermination Generals to pick up. As a result, every so often, there would be Demon Extermination Generals picking up tasks or exchanging Demon Extermination points. When Lu Yun entered the palace, many Demon Extermination Generals looked at him with changed expressions and then slightly bowed in tribute. "Greetings, General Lu." Lu Yun nodded his head, lightly responding without paying much attention. Seeing this, the Demon Extermination Generals didn't reveal any emotions, only looking at Lu Yun's departing figure with a hint of admiration in their eyes. Lu Yun's reputation was already very prominent throughout the 100 sects, needless to say, in the Demon Suppression Army. Moreover, it was rumored that some time ago, Lu Yun chased and killed a powerful demon cultivator from Scarlet Moon Demon Domain all the way to 9 Nether Demon territory. Now that he could return safely and unharmed, it was enough to make people admire him. Regardless of the outcome, late-phase Golden Core Realm powerhouses were among the top combat powers in the Demon Suppression Army, just one step away from commanding their own army. The Demon Suppression Army revered the strong. Under such circumstances, even though Lu Yun was merely an Earth-rank demon extermination general like them, in their hearts he was no different from a top-notch heavenly-level extermination general. Not paying attention to the astonishment of these demon extermination generals, Lu Yun went straight up to the 3rd floor. This time, he was going to spend hundreds of thousands of demon extermination points in one go, which an ordinary steward wouldn't be able to handle. In addition to Lu Yun's extraordinary power and status, an elder of the Internal Affairs Hall personally welcomed him. The elder, with a smiling face, handed over a crystal stone. It turns out to be General Lu. All the things that can be exchanged with demon extermination points are in here. You can review them first, and when you have made up your mind, I will order someone to bring them. Thank you. Lu Yun nodded and took the crystal stone. His spiritual power seeped into it, and information poured into his sea of consciousness. Compared to the last time he had exchanged items, there were even more things he could exchange this time. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to describe it as all-encompassing. Lu Yun's goal was clear, quickly scanning past these dazzling treasures. Spirit Crystal, 10 Demon Extermination points each. Blood Spirit Elixir, top-notch 7th grade pill, 10,000 Demon Extermination points. Purple Cloud Spirit Elixir, top-notch 7th grade pill, 11,000 Demon Extermination points. Golden Supreme Breaking Sovereignty Pill, 8th grade pill, 25,000 Demon Extermination points. The amounts of pills and associated Demon Extermination points that could be exchanged were all grasped by Lu Yun in just a few breaths. It must be said that these pills were diverse and dazzling, making Lu Yun's eyes swim, and his heart surge with excitement. If he could obtain all these pills and refine the energy points they provided, he might be able to break through tens of millions or even hundreds of millions of points instantly. However, even a top-notch 7th grade pill required nearly 10,000 demon extermination points to exchange. Moreover, Lu Yun also saw that divine abilities could be exchanged, and even golden core divine abilities were listed for exchange. Of course, it was worth mentioning that the exchange value of divine abilities was not cheap. One golden core divine ability required 300,000 demon extermination points for exchange. However, this was merely for memory inheritance of the divine ability. Even if one had enough demon extermination points to exchange, they might not necessarily be able to practice entry level. Of course, Lu Yun had not considered exchanging for divine abilities. He planned to spend some demon extermination points to exchange for some cultivation techniques and merge them into divine abilities later on. Pocketing the crystal stone, Lu Yun's gaze fell on the elder in front of him. Elder Chen, I currently have 950,000 demon extermination points. 200,000 of them will be exchanged for 2 million spirit crystals. Another 200,000 points will be exchanged for 20 blood spirit elixirs. 250,000 points for 10 golden supreme breaking sovereignty pills, and the remaining points will be used to exchange for 6 rune seed realm cultivation techniques, 2 for each category: fist techniques, sword techniques, and finger technique. You can select them at random, as long as they are within the corresponding demon extermination point range. Elder Chen's expression changed slightly, and then he reconfirmed the order. Lu Yun was exchanging too many things at once, consuming a huge amount of demon extermination points, so Elder Chen had to be clear about it. Lu Yun understood this, so he repeated his previous statement. All right, General Lu, please wait a moment. Elder Chen said this and stood up, went out the door, and summoned several stewards to retrieve the cultivation techniques, spirit crystals, and pills that Lu Yun wanted. Afterward, he instructed a steward to serve Lu Yun a pot of high-quality spirit tea. These stewards were very efficient. Before Lu Yun had finished drinking the spirit tea, they had already brought all the items he wanted to exchange. Chapter 528. Massive Exchange. Returning to Morijin_2, Elder Chen handed over the pills, spirit crystals, and cultivation techniques to Lu Yun, and said with a smile, 2 million spirit crystals, 200,000 demon extermination points, 30 pills in total, worth 450,000 demon extermination points. As for the 6 rune seed realm cultivation techniques, there's 250,000 demon extermination points. Lu Yun took a brief look and then nodded slightly. He waved his sleeve and collected everything into the Sumi ring. As for the Sumi ring containing the spirit crystals, he didn't keep it. Instead, he transferred the spirit crystals to his Sumi ring and returned the other one. After doing all this, Lu Yun handed his identity token to Elder Chen. Elder Chen picked up the dark gold token and infused his spiritual power into it, and the respective values appeared directly in his mind. Seeing the impressive 90 or so thousand demon extermination points, he inevitably gave a surprised expression. However, when he thought of Lu Yun's extraordinary record, he quickly got over it. Killing a golden core realm powerhouse can earn from 300,000 to 1 million demon extermination points, and Lu Yun had indeed killed a golden core realm powerhouse. Not long after, Elder Chen deducted the corresponding demon extermination points and returned the identity token to Lu Yun. Thank you, Elder Chen. After putting away his identity token, Lu Yun slightly cupped his fists and turned around to leave the main hall. TSK, not only did he exchange millions of spirit crystals at once, but he also exchanged for so many cultivation techniques. No wonder he's considered one of the strongest martial academies St. Children in almost a century. Elder Chen looked at Lu Yun's departing figure and couldn't help but shake his head and sigh. Had it been anyone else, he would have thought they were wasting their resources by exchanging for so many different cultivation techniques at once. Because practicing so many techniques would only waste energy, making it impossible for them to reach the Golden Core realm in this lifetime. However, when it came to Lu Yun, all he felt was shock and amazement. Because no one would doubt that Lu Yun's limit was the Rune Seed realm. Even reaching the heavenly human realm seemed easily attainable for him. After leaving the Internal Affairs Hall, Lu Yun went straight away from Sky Sea City and returned to Morijin. When leaving, he didn't say goodbye to anyone. However, the high-ranking members of the Demon Suppression Army, as well as Bai Chongfeng, Zhuang Ziyuan, and Wei Zongqing, who had fought alongside Lu Yun during this time, all knew that Lu Yun had left and probably wouldn't return. Although they felt regretful, they didn't try to persuade him, knowing that they couldn't change his decision. Half a month later, a treasure boat belonging to a merchant organization appeared in the sky above the coastal area, controlled by the wind. Many martial artists were standing on it, their eyes filled with joy, clearly looking forward to the coastal area. Some proud martial artists were chatting and laughing at the front, boasting about their experiences and stories. The Scarlet Moon Demon Domain, White Lotus Domain, Profound Darkness Domain, and other domains have all been occupied by the Demon Suppression Army. It won't be long before a new province is established, which will inevitably set off a wave of division, with aristocratic families from the Central Province, Wu Province, and Qing Province joining in. It will bring about another great opportunity. A martial artist in a blue robe said with a smile, his hands clasped behind his back. I originally thought that Morijin's 13th province would be taken from the demon beast's territory, but unexpectedly, it was taken from the 100 sects. Brother Wang, from your tone, could it be that you know the inside story of the establishment of the new province? A group of people were standing next to the blue-clad martial artist, all of them pricking up their ears, wanting to hear more information. If they could learn about the new province and the various prefectures, it would undoubtedly be invaluable information for the family behind them, something money couldn't buy. Ah, you don't know a lot. The blue-robed martial artist with the surname Wang waved his hand, clearly knowing a lot. The imperial court has already decided on the establishment of the new province, and even the appointment of the garrison commander has been completed. However, since the new province is located in the coastal area and involves the Sea Beast tribe and the 100 sects, its importance is even greater than the Ling province, Ying province, and other provinces. The garrison commander should at least be a celestial human realm practitioner. What? A celestial human? The crowd exclaimed, their mouths wide open. A typical province garrison commander was usually around the middle stage of the Golden Core realm. The garrison commanders of major provinces, such as Qing province and Wu province, were only at the peak of the Golden Core realm. It was somewhat unbelievable that the newly established province in the coastal area would require a celestial human to govern it. Ignorant, aren't you? Wang sneered. The new province in the coastal area is called Sea Province. It covers an area at least 2 to 3 times the size of Ling province, and it will be divided into 72 prefectures. Currently, only 4 Direction Prefecture, Sky Pool Prefecture, and a dozen other prefectures have been established. Aside from the fact that the position of the Sea Province commander is not up for grabs, your families might be able to vie for a county governor's position. Sea Province, unexpectedly establishing so many prefectures at once. The people exchanged glances with fiery gazes in their eyes. If they could genuinely obtain a county governor's position, it would undoubtedly elevate their family's status. In addition to the establishment of Sea Province, there's another sensational matter. The blue-robed martial artist Wang continued, the Demon Suppression Army has produced a peerless genius. At the age of under 16, he had already broken through to the Rune Seed realm, and in the Void battlefield against the Red Moon Demon sect, he killed a senior Golden Core realm true master. Simply terrifying. Brother Wang, I'm afraid this news is a rumor. There couldn't possibly be such a terrifying genius. I think it's just the Demon Suppression Army trying to create momentum. Another white-robed young martial artist wielding a jade fan and wearing a white phoenix jade pendant around his waist shook his head slightly. Both reaching the rune seed realm at less than 16 years old and killing a golden core realm from the rune seed realm are near impossible feat. Even the two heaven-defying saint children from the Origin Martial Academy might not be able to do it. Chapter 529. Exchanging grandly, returning to the Great Yuan _3 the other martial artists around dressed just as well as him nodded in agreement with the young man in white. Although they did not possess peerless talents, they were all individuals with great potential and were highly prioritized in their respective families. But when they were 16 years old, they were still in the true Qi realm or in the transforming Origin realm. You guys still don't believe it? Well, among the heavenly level demon extermination generals in the Demon Suppression Army, there is one who has a close relationship with my grandfather and they often exchange messages. This matter was personally confirmed by him, so there's no way it could be false. Moreover, that person is also a Martial Academy's saint child, whom you all must have heard of before. Although there are not many saint children in the martial academies, we have heard of at least a dozen of them, so how are we supposed to guess which one? Brother Wang, just tell us already, which saint child is this person? Seeing that the young martial artist with the Wang surname only maintained a faint smile and did not clarify, the martial artist in white also chuckled and smiled. Based on what Brother Wang just said, that monstrous genius who broke through to the rune seed realm before turning 16, being a Martial Academy saint child, and also someone we've heard of, the only one who fits the bill is Saint Child Lu Yun from the Ling Province, Spirit Martial Prefecture, Fly Spirit Martial Academy. At this point, the white-clothed martial artist paused, then shook his head and laughed. We all know about Saint Child Lu Yun. Just a year ago, he was only at the Origin Fluid realm. Even if he were a monster, how could he continuously break through the Golden Body realm and Rune Seed realm in less than a year's time? Although their cultivation levels were not high, with the highest being only around the peak of the Origin Fluid realm, they had all gone through similar levels. Just the Origin Fluid realm alone had taken them several years, if not a decade or more, to polish, and that was with adequate resources. Pfft, you guys still don't believe it? Lu Yun's reputation has already spread throughout the 100 sects. The young martial artist with the surname Wang shook his head slightly and sighed. Enough talking, once you guys arrive in Xi Province, you'll know that what I said is not false. At that moment, a violent noise came from the treasure boat, which stopped abruptly in midair. What's going on? Could it be an attack from a sea beast? Various noisy voices suddenly erupted on the treasure boat, and all the martial artists took out their weapons, shimmering with rainbow light, as if they were facing a great enemy. Although there was an array operating on the treasure boat that could defend against sea beasts' attacks and other powerful forces, they had never been to the coastal area and were unsure of what the strength of the martial artists from the 100 sects and sea beasts would be like. Stay on guard at all times. The Rune Seed Realm powerhouses on the treasure boat also came out one after the other and activated the array. In an instant, the treasure boat was enveloped in a dazzling light. Hee everyone, there's no need to be alarmed. I just got lost and stopped the treasure boat simply to ask for directions. A voice echoed from all directions in the void. The powerful masters in the Rune Seed Realm were all startled by it, thinking that it must be a true master in the Golden Core realm. We greet the senior. We greet the senior. Those martial artists from various aristocratic families, as well as independent martial cultivators, all bowed to the empty air. In this remote coastal area where humans were scarce, without the protection of powerful family members and the imperial court's laws, they couldn't accidentally be slapped to death by the other party. That would be a huge loss. After searching in the void for a while, the powerful Rune Seed Realm practitioners eventually saw a ray of rainbow light rapidly flying towards them from the distant horizon. It was a handsome, purple-robed youth with an exceptionally refined and natural aura and a gentle smile on his face. Chapter 530. Returning home and good news, everyone was surprised when the senior figure they had been talking about appeared as a teenager. If they were not mistaken, the youth should be around 16 or 17 years old, standing quietly in the void, watching them with a kind gaze. The most peculiar thing was that they couldn't discern the cultivation level of the youth, who seemed like an ordinary person without any cultivation. But could an ordinary person maintain such a calm demeanor facing them, and stand so effortlessly in the void? This must be a senior who had reversed his aging. Almost simultaneously, all had such a thought in their hearts. We have only just entered the near-sea region recently and are unfamiliar with this place. I'm afraid we won't be able to lead the way for senior. Several rune seed realm cultivators hurriedly clasped their hands together, and while they carefully spoke, their eyes subtly stared at Lu Yun's every move, terrified that they might inadvertently offend him and bring disaster upon themselves. Lu Yun smiled peacefully. I don't need to hide anything from you all. I just happened to come from the Scarlet Moon Demon Domain and plan to return to Morijin Ling Province. But for now, I don't know in which direction Ling Province is, so I came to inquire. Only after hearing these words did the numerous martial artists on the treasure boat breathe a slight sigh of relief. Among them, a youth with the surname Wang stepped forward respectfully, came to the edge of the treasure boat, took out a jade slip, held it with both hands, and said reverentially, Senior, I have a jade slip here that details the maps of the 12 provinces and 608 prefectures of Morijin, as well as important cities. I will give it to you. It's better to send him off as soon as possible, as there seems to be no help from heaven or earth here. Though a map of Morijin was valuable, it was worth it if it could resolve potential crises. Lu Yun waved his sleeve gently, and the jade slip turned into a ray of light, flying to his face. With a slight sweep of his spiritual power, a vast amount of information flooded into his sea of consciousness, including the map of the 12 provinces of Morijin. Although it was relatively rough, it contained the 12 provinces, 608 prefectures, and important mountain ranges, rivers, and lakes. Lu Yun quickly located the Spirit Martial Prefecture in the jade slip, but that was all he could find, as smaller county towns were not indicated. He put away the jade slip, clasped his hands, and smiled. I'll accept your gift, and in return, I'll give you these mysterious instruments. With a flash of light, 3 mysterious instruments flew in front of the youth with the surname Wang. Seeing that he had received 3 mysterious instruments at once, including 1 top-grade mysterious weapon, the youth's eyes showed a hint of surprise and delight. This scene made the several rune seed realm cultivators envious. They didn't have a top-grade mysterious weapon, and now they saw a young martial artist at the peak of the origin fluid realm possessing 3 mysterious weapons all at once, making them regret not being the one to offer the jade slip. Thank you, Senior. The young man with the surname Wang clasped his hands, his smile unable to be concealed. When he looked back at the void in front of him, he saw only faint ripples in the void. Watching this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Coming without a trace and leaving without footprints, such strength was truly terrifying. Xianer, hurry up and put away the mysterious instruments that Senior gave you. An elder in the rune seed realm on the treasure boat spoke, pulling everyone back from their astonishment and amazement. The young man quickly recovered from his surprise, cautiously glanced at the surrounding people, and clearly noticed that many eyes were focused on him, giving him goosebumps. For him, a young martial artist at the peak of the origin fluid realm, possessing 3 mysterious instruments, including a top-grade mysterious weapon, was not a good thing. Second Grandpa, 1 mid-level mysterious instrument is enough for me. The rest should be handed over to the family as a token of gratitude for their many years of training. After Wang Xianer finished speaking, he handed 2 mysterious instruments to the rune seed realm elder. Although he was extremely reluctant in his heart, he appeared relaxed on the surface. Ha ha ha, as expected of our Wang family's outstanding talent, you have not disappointed the family's training for so many years. The Rune Seed Realm Elder smiled slightly and readily put the two mysterious instruments into his bag. The other Rune Seed Realm cultivators showed a sense of regret after seeing this, and let go of their thoughts. If the top-grade mysterious weapon was still in Wang Xian'er's hands, they would risk trying to get it, but now it had fallen into the hands of the Wang family's second elder, clearly making it impossible to seize forcefully. As Lu Yun left, the oppressive force on the treasure boat instantly disappeared, and the treasure boat began to travel rapidly through the void. Lu Yun completely left the near-sea area and entered Morijin territory. With the guidance of the Jade Slips map, he headed straight for Ling Province. Half a month later, Morijin Ling Province, Spirit Marshal Prefecture, Black Tiger Army's stationed location. Lu Yongxing, clad in black armor, was inspecting the Black Tiger Army when he suddenly saw a ray of light falling from the sky, scraping out powerful sparks and heading straight in his direction. Not good, enemy attack, be careful. Lu Yongxing thought it was an enemy attack and dared not show any carelessness. He immediately stirred his true origin all over his body, preparing to block this attack that was falling rapidly from the void. However, just as the ball of light was about to reach the ground, its speed began to slow down, gradually revealing its contents to be a dark long spear, which was inserted directly next to Lu Yongxing. Lu Yongxing's entire body remained on high alert, unwilling to relax even for a moment, looking around cautiously. When he confirmed that there were no abnormalities, he finally turned his gaze to the black long spear beside him. The long spear was entirely pitch black, emitting a faint dark glow, giving a sense of solidity and heaviness. Chapter 531. Return Home. Celebration _21 glance indicated that this spear was no ordinary weapon, it had to be at least of the superior profound artifact grade. The wielder of such a precious weapon would unquestionably have considerable strength. Why did they throw this spear from the void, yet not hurt anyone? Was it a show of deterrence? As Lu Yongxing was quickly evaluating the situation, a voice sounded from the void. Years ago, General Lu gifted me the dragon scale saber. Today, I return the favor with the black nether spear. I hope you won't refuse. The calm and steady voice fell from the void, echoing in Lu Yongxing's ears and all around the Black Tiger Army's base camp. Dragon scale saber. A vision of a young man suddenly popped into Lu Yongxing's memory. He remembered gifting a mid-level profound artifact, the dragon scale saber, to Lu Yun. Is it really him? Lu Yongxing laid his hand on the handle of the black nether spear, instantly sensing a cold touch. With a slight exertion of strength, the black nether spear, weighing 2,500 kilograms, lifted off the ground. What a great spear, truly a great spear! Lu Yongxing immediately admired it, feeling his true origin in perfect harmony with the black nether spear. With the black nether spear, he felt his power could increase by at least 30%. He glanced up at the tranquil void and then whispered to himself, casually gifting a superior profound artifact like the black nether spear. Just how strong has he become? At the same time, he was silently relieved that his past investment had not gone to waste. A mid-level profound artifact was exchanged for a superior profound artifact, appreciating more than tenfold in value. Elsewhere, after performing the instant horizon technique several times, Lu Yun had reached Spirit Creek Village in Cloudwater County. No matter how the outside world changed, Spirit Creek Village remained a peaceful haven, undisturbed and serene. Every time he returned here, Lu Yun's heart would naturally calm down. It was like a young man who had made a name for himself in the bustling city after leaving his mountain village, returning to the quiet hamlet that nurtured him, would naturally feel at ease. It had been almost 2 years since he last parted with his eldest brother and sister. Coupled with the significant changes in his height, appearance, and demeanor due to the practice of Great Sun Undying Golden Body, he wondered if they would still recognize him. Moreover, after encountering so many people and experiencing so many things, memories of his brother and sister had grown somewhat blurry. He was eager to see them again. When I left last time, my eldest brother already had someone he admired. I wonder how things are progressing now. My elder sister is not so young anymore, she should be married by now. With various thoughts, Lu Yun slowly set foot into Spirit Creek Village again. As soon as he entered the village, he felt a lively atmosphere and noticed many people walking down the village path towards his home. Could it be Lu Yun had a hunch about what was happening? He hastened his steps, went round a few corners, and a vaguely familiar and mostly strange yard appeared before him. Both inside and outside the yard were full of villagers, men, women, old and young. On the doors and windows of the slightly renovated houses, large red characters denoting happiness were posted. Lu He, wearing red wedding clothes, came to a brand-new red palanquin parked 150 m from the yard and brought out the bride, also dressed in red wedding clothes. Then, with the crowd cheering him on, he blushed as he carried her back into the yard. Along the way, many playful children followed the bride and groom, obviously very curious about the bride under the red veil. Tsk, Lu family's eldest son is really blessed. I heard the bride is the young lady of a family in Cloudwater County. She's not only scholarly and polite but also very charming. Isn't it? He's just got connected to the famous and desirable family of the county town. Lu family is going to flourish. That might not necessarily be the case. Don't forget about the second son of the Lu family. He's the darling of heaven. Perhaps it's the bride who is attaching herself to the Lu family? Yes, at that, the second son of Lu family is so well known in Cloudwater County and Spirit Marshal Prefecture, even the county magistrate would respectfully greet him. For a while, the yard was filled with the villagers talking amongst themselves. I didn't expect today to really be eldest brother's big happy day. A wave of mixed emotions surged in Lu Yun's heart. Happiness, excitement, melancholy. He didn't know why, but he did not show himself, watching the scenery inside and outside the courtyard from afar. Soon, he saw a handsome young man, about 18 or 19, walking out of the new house. It was Yunyu. The Yunyu of now, compared to 2 years ago, had changed significantly. There was no longer a childish look on his face, instead, there was a hint of maturity. After eldest brother Lu he put the bride down, she propped him up and welcomed him into the room. Lu Yun suppressed the urge to rush home, quietly flying in the air, silently watching the joyful event taking place in the courtyard below. He did not want his arrival to cause any impact on Lu He's celebration. Today Lu He was the protagonist. Lu Yun also identified a few familiar yet unfamiliar faces in the courtyard. There were Lu Tianhu and Lu Liangpeng, who had once accompanied him to Cloudwater County for the Martial Academy's examination. There was also old village head Lu Tsongxing, his hair white and body withered. There was also the upright and in his prime Lu Tsong, and Lu Meng, who had once taught Lu Yun. These people, more or less, had had some connection with Lu Yun. Seeing them again, there was an inevitable sigh at the transience of the world. Lu Yun stayed in the air for a whole day. He did not return home until the following morning, when all the festivities had come to an end and the villagers had all left. Lu Yu, who had just gotten up to clean, looked at Lu Yun who had suddenly appeared in their yard with surprise and confusion. Xiaoyun, Lu Yu almost screamed out, but was promptly stopped by Lu Yun. "Sister, don't disturb the rest of our eldest brother and his wife." While saying so, he was careful to glance in the direction of the bridal chamber. In fact, with his strength, he could easily conceal all noise. However, in this place, in this courtyard, in front of his closest family, he didn't want to use those extraordinary powers. At this time, eldest brother and his wife should be waking up. There's no need to be so cautious. Lu Yu laughed as she excitedly pulled Lu Yun into the living room. Post-wedding, the living room was in a bit of a mess. There were big red characters everywhere and a lot of stuff lying around. Lu Yun chatted with Lu Yu while helping to clean up. Not long after, Lu He came into the living room with a woman dressed in purple, her hair adorned with a golden hairpin. The woman had a pointed chin and was very pretty. She seemed to be new to worldly affairs, and there was still a trace of blush on her face. "Xiao Yu, your sister-in-law and I have come to help you clean up," Lu He's boisterous voice sounded as soon as they entered the room. "Who is this?" Then Lu He's gaze fell on Lu Yun. Unlike Lu Yu, who recognized Lu Yun at a glance, he looked closely for a while before widening his eyes and said in disbelief, "You are Xiao Yun? Haha, eldest brother, how come you almost couldn't recognize me after only 2 years? Or is it that once you got married, you forgot about your own brother?" Lu Yun joked before moving forward to meet the woman in purple, bowing slightly. Lu Yun pays respect to sister-in-law. Hearing that the extraordinary young man in front of her was Lu Yun, the woman in purple was instantly reminded of something. A look of shock and surprise crossed her face, to the point that she didn't notice Lu Yun's bow. The name of Lu Yun might not be well understood by the villagers of Spirit Creek Village, but she, from a family in Cloudwater County, was very clear about what the name Lu Yun represented. That was the Martial Academy's Saint Child of Flying Spirit, the only Saint Child among all the martial academies in Ling Province, and the honorary executive of the Ling Province Alchemist Union. With unparalleled talent and ability, his mere stomping could cause a tremor throughout the Spirit Martial Prefecture. Marrying Lu He was partly because of his pure and honest nature, and partly due to the factor of Lu Yun. Even the fact that she and Lu He had met was due to a deliberate arrangement by her family. Now, with Lu Yun suddenly appearing in front of her, besides shock and surprise, she also felt a hint of unease.